standing onto our mat like we've done the last 2 weeks. So feet hip distance apart, you can be standing at the back of your mat. And we're just going to start with a few breaths. So one hand comes to your heart, one hand comes to your lower belly, and we're going to close down your eyes. So taking deep breaths in through your nose, and then exhaling out through your mouth, just feeling grounded. Eyes are maybe closed, and maybe we start to do a little rock onto our tiptoes, and then back onto our heels, just checking in, seeing how we feel in our body. It's a really simple move, but once again, as soon as our eyes are closed, it can feel a little bit wobbly. And just using this kind of rock to really just tune into our body, letting go of anything else that might be on our mind for the next half an hour. Find that stable position, weight is even between both of your feet. Take a deep breath in through your nose. On that exhale, you start blinking open your eyes and circle your arms all the way out, around and up overhead. Hands interlace, look up towards the ceiling. And we're going to lean all the way up and over to one side, feeling that opening from that side body, side ribs. Coming back to center, we reach up slightly taller, and then we're going to lean up and over towards that opposite side. Coming back to center, final deep breath in, looking up those hands. Exhale, circle those hands out, around and down. Nose nods towards your chest. And we're slowly going to ripple down to a forward fold. Upper back, middle back, lower back, hanging super heavy at the bottom. You've got a bit of a bend in through both of your knees. Your right hand is going to come to the center of the mat. You can have bent or straight legs. And you're going to reach your left hand all the way up towards the ceiling, opening through that chest, opening through your heart. You've got energy through those top fingertips. Slowly lower that hand all the way down. And we're going to go over to your right hand side. The right hand reaches up. If you can, that right hand, so right leg starts to straighten a bit. Energy through those tall fingertips. Your right hand finds the mat in front of you. And slowly we're going to walk yourselves out to your first plank of the morning. Okay, hold here. You're pressing down evenly between your hands. Your eye gaze is forward, and that push of your hands finds space and length into your upper back. Eye gaze is just towards that top edge of the mat. Keep pushing down from your little finger all the way through to your thumb. Exhale, can you lift and ripple all the way up, coming back into a downward dog, heels come down towards the mat. Then we ripple onto your tiptoes, ripple all the way forward, and we find our plank. You guys are going to keep doing that while I just move my laptop down. I don't know how people do that without having to move. Okay. So we're warming up all the way through our body. We're really rippling onto those toes. We're engaging through those tummy, those abdominal muscles, and then we reach back. The next time we come into our plank position, we're going to hold here. Eye gaze is long. Can you really find that length and space into the back of the body? And on an exhale, we lift up, we lift back, find your downward dog, and we're going to just pedal out those feet, finding length and space in through the back of that body. We're doing some more sideline in a second, so just warming up through those legs. Pushing through those hands to find space all the way down the back of the body, and both of your heels come deep in towards the mat. Find that moment of stillness. You're pushing those hands and you're pushing those heels into the mat. Your eye gaze comes forward, and we're going to knock your knees all the way down into that 4-point kneeling position. Okay, hold here. Hands are underneath those shoulders. Knees are underneath those hips. We're going to find a cat-cow, so dropping that belly down. Eye gaze lifts. And then scooping your belly, eye gaze to knees. Think about your pelvis leading this movement, and that your spine is all the way from the crown of your head all the way through to that pelvis. So trying to get the articulation all the way between your vertebrae. Find that midpoint between those extremes. This is your neutral spine. You're going to have a slight, like, gentle curve in that lower back. Your eye gaze is long. We're going to find our bird dog. So your right fingertips are going to reach long, and your left leg is going to reach all the way back behind you. Hold here. Your hips are shining down towards the ground. Exhale, can you lift your hand, lift your leg, pointing through those toes, and then slowly lower down. Okay, so we're really starting to challenge that stability, challenge that balance. If this feels like too much, you can do one arm, one leg. If it's too much on that left hand, you can come onto a fist, or you can always come down to your elbow. I want you to kick up. That foot is in line with that bum, and then you drop those toes and those fingertips all the way down. So we're really good to, like, work through this diagonal line of the body. The next time you lift up, I want you to hold. Can you float your arm and leg away from that center line? So hand to the right, leg to the left. Come back to center and then tap down. I hope you can start feeling this. I can feel this in my core, in through that left shoulder. Come back in and then tap. So we lift, we reach, we come back to center and tap. 2 more. We lift, reach, center. Tap this one, we hold up, we reach out, we come back to center, hold here. This is your starting position. Can we finish this side with small pulses up and down? We're here for 6. Keep pointing those toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop that hand, drop that knee, and just quickly sit back into a child's pose. Knees come wide, hands come all the way long. Feel free to rock out and roll out through that left wrist. Okay, we're going to get straight going with that other side. So hands come all the way down. We're going to go on that other side. Just make sure your hands are under those shoulders, knees underneath those hips. Your left hand comes long and your right leg reaches all the way back. Okay, push down through that right hand. We're finding space and length into your shoulders. We exhale, we lift your hand, we lift your leg, and then we tap everything down. If you can see yourself on the screen, just use that as feedback of how high you're lifting your hand, how high you're lifting your leg. Keep pointing through those toes and your hips stay grounded and looking towards that mat. So what I mean by that is we're not kind of shining up or shining down. We keep that nice level line of those hips. The next time you reach up, you hold. Can you reach your hand and your leg away from that center line? Come back to the center and then you tap. So hand goes out to the left, foot to the right. Come back to center and tap everything down. We lift, we reach out. And for the last few, just challenge your range. The further you go, the harder this will be to balance. So just see how that feels. Eye gaze stays forward. Let's go for 2 more. Last one like this. We're going to hold up for the pulses. The next time we're in that center line, pause there. Can we pulse that arm, pulse that leg? We're here for 6. Eye gaze is forward, pushing up through that hand for 3, for 2, for 1. Drop that hand, drop that knee. Okay, we're going to come straight to lying down onto your side. So I'm going to come onto my left side. It doesn't matter what side you are, but if you do left, it might be easier to remember. Your arm is going to be long, your head is relaxed on that bicep, and your kind of bum is towards the back edge of that mat. We're going to find a 90-90 clam. So your knees are in front of your hips and your shins are parallel with the mat in front. It's almost as if you just sat on a really stiff chair and just been plonked down. Okay, top hand. So my right hand is on that top hip. You're going to glide that hip away to create a little bit of space underneath that waist. That's going to ensure our glutes are engaged. Inhale to prepare, and on that exhale, we're going to hover your right knee up, and then you lift it down. So you're lifting that whole top leg up. It's completely parallel to that bottom leg, and then we lower. So what I mean, we're not leading with your knee or your heel. You're going to keep lifting that whole leg up at one time, and then lower. So we're going to start coming into those side glutes. If you're not sure what's working, you can place that top hand on that side glute of that top leg, and you should really start to feel that engage every time you lift up and then we drop down. Okay, really nice. Your hip stays stacked, that top elbow is up towards the ceiling. The next time we lift, hold there, we're going to add that kick. Kick that leg, your heel is in line with your bum. We bend your knee back parallel to that bottom leg and we drop down. It's one lift, one kick, glide back and then lower. From what I can see from random legs on the screen, you're all looking really good. Keep lifting up through that lower waist so we're not sinking. Your hips are stacked one on top of each other. Really nice. I want you to lead that kick with that heel. You bend in and you lower. We've got 2 more. The next time we reach out, I want you to hold. Okay, that leg is really nice and straight. Foot is in line with that hip, and your hip and foot are in line as well. Okay, point through your toes. We're going to sweep. I want you to glide that foot towards me at the screen side. Then when you've reached your end point, you flex your foot and you glide it back in line with your bum. So lead with that toe pointing to glide forwards and then flex that foot to come back. Once again, hips are stable, top elbow up towards the ceiling, and you've got that gap underneath your lower waist. We should really start to feel that top leg. That top glute is really working to stabilize you. That whole upper body is relaxed. So head is just really relaxed on that arm. Okay, let's go for 3 more, then we're going to hold. We're nearly done on this side. Can you challenge yourself and maybe lift that leg slightly higher? The next time that leg is back, hold there. Okay, we're going to point your toes to the ground, heel is lifted. Maybe leg is slightly forward of that bum, and we're going to finish off with pulses. Really challenge how high you can go. For 6, 5, everyone's going to reach higher for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that top leg. It should feel a bit sore. Give it a good old slap out. Okay, keep your legs in this position. Your hands are going to come behind your head. I know it's going to feel a bit sticky. Okay, so the bottom elbow is on the ground and your top hand is going to kind of crease and fold as if you're a book. That top elbow is going to close the bottom elbow. You're going to keep those legs still and you're just going to open that chest, open that top elbow all the way out. You're looking towards the sky. And then you slowly close it all the way in. So this is just a really nice opener for that back, especially if you're about to be sat at a desk all week. It's called our book opening for obvious reasons. But really lead with that elbow. I feel when I lead with the elbow, I get that bit more space into that top and mid back, and then close. The next time you open, I want you to hold there. Really try and glide that top elbow all the way down. Knees stay pushed down onto the ground. And then close that top arm all the way out. Okay, we're going to twist around, release that top hand, and we're going to come to lie onto our backs. You're like, thank God. Okay, so your feet are grounded on the floor. Your hands are going to come behind your head, and we're going to come into some abs, okay? So your hands are interlaced. You've got a nice kind of nest for your head. Thumbs are tracking down your neck, and your elbows are lifted. We're going to keep those feet planted on the ground today. Inhale to prepare. On that exhale, we hover your head, neck, and chest. We're finding that outcome. And then we slowly lower everything down. So it's an exhale to lift and inhale to lower. Really nice. And just finding the space, you're finding the distance between your chin and your chest stays the same the whole time. The next time you lift, can you hold there? Can you reach your fingertips long, kind of just beyond those legs? You glide those hands back behind your head and you lower. So you lift, you extend those arms, you glide back in and you lower back down. Every time you lift, your eye gaze is just underneath those knees. I want you to challenge how high you lift that head every time. And as you come up, you're starting to feel kind of your ribs draw down towards those hips. Okay, 3 more like this, and then we're going to meet at that top point. Exhale to lift. The next time we lift up, hold there, arms along. Can we just hold that arm movement so your hands to the head and then hands long? We're trying to keep yourself lifted up in that ab curl the whole time. Every time you reach, can you try and get a bit more of a lift? And then you lower, we've got 4. In 3, we're going to hold up. It's an exhale every time you lift. 2. The next time your hands are down, hold there, your palms flat to push down towards the floor, and we're going to do those small pulses. It's almost as if you're pumping those hands in water. I want you to take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Challenge yourself with every exhale to lift slightly higher. We're here for 10. Keep reaching up. For the last 5, can you reach higher? 4, 3, 2, 1, release yourselves all the way down. Have a quick windscreen wiper of those knees from side to side. And to find some length in through our kind of front of our body, we're just going to find a quick bridge with some space. So feet stay where they are. Your heels are back towards the bum. If you reach your fingertips down, your fingertips should just be able to tap the back of those heels. Okay, so for our bridge, we start drawing our lower back in towards the mat, and we're going to ripple ourselves all the way up. Lower back, middle back, upper back, holding there at that top point to a long line, shoulders, hips, knees, and then slowly ripple down. Upper back, middle back, lower back. This time we're going to bring those arms into it. As you lift those hips, can you reach those arms overhead? Hold those hips up. Your hands are going to continue that journey all the way back behind you. Keep those hands where they are. We slowly ripple down, upper back, middle back, lower back. When that bum hits, you lower those hands to the ground. So bum and hands reach up together. You glide those hands back. You ripple that spine all the way down, and then your hands come all the way down. We've just got a few more like this. I find that by lifting up those hands, I get a real focus on the articulation all the way back through that spine. Let's go for 2 more. My imagery is, imagine you've got bubble wrap and you're popping those bubbles all the way down your spine. That's your vertebra. So we're trying to knock every vertebra. Let's make the next one your last one. This time we're going to meet at the top. Hands reach towards the ceiling, hips are lifted. Hold there. Can you lift those hips higher? And we're going to finish with really small pulses of those hips up and down. Eye gaze towards the ceiling. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at that top point. Slowly ripple yourselves all the way down, hugging your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock. Hands come behind your knees, and we're going to rock yourself up to a seated position. We're just going to find a quick mermaid. So your left foot comes in front, or my side, it's my left foot in front, my right knee behind, and we're just going to open up through that side body. So left hand comes down onto the floor, or whatever one's your bent knee. Reach that other hand up and over, finding really nice length, really nice energy through those fingertips. And then glide all the way back. Let's go for 2 more on this side. Really reaching and trying to get slightly further. And then we come back to center. 1 more. I want you to hold that reach, maybe bending slightly more in that lower hand. Come back to center, that top hand reaches down, and the opposite hand reaches all the way up and over. It always feels a little bit stickier on this side. And come back to center. We're just going to go straight away, and we're switching over the legs. So now my right leg's in front, my left leg's behind, front foot to knee. Drop that right hand down, or whatever your front knee arm is, and sweep that top hand up and over. So see how this side feels in comparison. We're opening up through those ribs, we're opening up through that side body. The next time we reach over, we're going to add that slight pause, reaching those hands all the way up and over your head. Glide yourself back, your left hand comes down, your opposite hand reaches up and over. Come back to center. Okay, we've got that leg on the other side. We're going to come to lie on that right hand side. Your head is going to be down onto that bottom arm. Your arms relax and your knees are towards that front edge of the back. Shins are parallel with that mat in front of you. Okay, remember we've got that gap underneath our lower waist. Top hand is on your hip and you're going to glide your hip all the way up and away. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, we're going to lift that top leg up and then we lower it all the way down. So we lift it up and we lower. That top leg is a complete mirror image of that bottom leg. We've got that gap underneath that lower waist. Really nice. We lift and we lower. Top elbow is up towards the ceiling. And remember, if you can't find it, your top hand can come onto that glute behind you just to make sure it's really nice and switched on. Really good. Making sure that knee stays in line and parallel with that leg. The next time we lift, can we add that kick? We lift. You kick your leg all the way out. We bend it in and we glide it all the way down. We're going to lift, extend, bend it back in, and then tap. Every time you extend that leg, your heel is leading the way. It's in line with your bum. Bend your knee in and then close it down. Really nice. Challenging yourself to see if you can push that heel slightly further every time. Okay, we've got 3 more and then we meet all the way out. 2 more. The next time that leg is all the way out, hold there, pause, point through those toes. Can you sweep that leg all the way forward towards me? And then flex your foot, gliding it all the way back behind. You point to glide forward, keeping that foot in line. Flex, glide all the way back. Really nice. I want you to keep that foot lifted. It's in line with your hip. You're leading with that toe as you come forward. And you're leading with that foot as you come back. We've got 3 more and then we're going to hold out. 2, can you all lift that leg slightly higher? The next time we kick that leg back in line with that bum, we hold. Your toes drop down, your heel lifts, and we finish with those pulses up and down. Really good. Can you lift higher for 5, 4, 3? You should really be feeling that top glute. 2, 1. Release that top leg all the way down and tap it all the way out. Okay, we've got that foot opening on the opposite side. Hands come behind your head. Bottom elbow is down, top elbow comes to meet it. We open up through that top arm, shining your chest up towards the ceiling. And then we close that top elbow towards that bottom arm. So you exhale, you're finding space, you're shining your chest towards the sky. And then you close it all the way in. Let's go for 2 more. Final 1, reach up, reach back, look towards that back hand or elbow. And slowly glide all the way back. Okay, to finish, we're going to come and twizzle around onto our fronts. Your hands are going to be stacked one on top of each other. Your elbows are wide, and we're just going to open up through that back. My head is going to be, or my forehead is relaxed, heavy on those hands, and just roll out through the lower body. I want it to be kind of nice and relaxed. You're going to inhale to prepare, and on that exhale, you're going to hover your head and your hands off of the mat. And then we slowly lower down. Exhale to lift. And then lower. So we're finding space in through the back of the body. This is something that can feel a bit sticky for people. So just work to your own range. Your eye gaze stays down. And to begin with, your head is heavy on those hands. I want you to still have a slight neutral spine. So imagine I've placed an ice cube underneath your belly button and you're slightly lifted up. The next time you lift up, I want you to hold. Can you reach those hands long in front of you? Draw those hands back underneath your forehead and then you lower. So we lift, we reach those arms, hands fold back and then we lower. We lift, we reach, we draw back in and we lower. You should start to feel this opening. It's a bit of pressure in that lower back, a bit of work in that upper back, but it's in a really nice supported way. Okay, and 2, we're going to hold out. The next time you reach those hands, hold there. Can you also hover your feet off of the ground? We're going to do some swimming. You're going to paddle your feet and your hands up and down. Your eye gaze is towards that front edge of the mat. We've got 5. Can you lift those arms and legs and head higher? 4, 3, 2, 1. Allow yourself to sink all the way down. Hands come wide, so elbows are wide in a cactus shaped position. Elbows are in line with those shoulders. Pushing those hands into the floor, we're just going to find a mini cobra. So pushing through those hands, have a slight lift of that chin all the way up. Eye gaze is just forward. But no matter how many times I do that, that's really hard. And then slowly lower down. Let's do that again. So you push through those hands. It's almost like you're lifting up. You've got a bit of articulation in the back and you're lifting those ribs off of the mat. And then we slowly mark down. For the next one, can we maybe lift those forearms? So you lift up through your hands, finding that full extension. Eye gaze is forward. Open out through that front line of the body. And we slowly drop those elbows and ripple yourselves all the way down. Okay, head drops into the mat. You're going to come up, so your right hand is underneath you, and you're just going to roll yourself over to finish lying onto your backs. Okay, can you draw your right knee in towards your chest? Interlace those fingers underneath that right knee. Your left leg is long. Can we just draw small circles of that right? And then reverse the direction. So just finishing off with a quick stretch to finish the class. Find that center point. Your left hand comes on top of the knee. You're going to fold that knee across the body and your right hand reaches out. I want you to think drawing that knee to the floor. Your eye gaze is going to be in the opposite direction towards that hand. And we're finding that really nice opening. We've been working through loads of openings through that side and back in this morning's class. So just finding that stretch. Coming back to center, hug that right knee in towards your chest. Bring that left knee up to meet it. Your right leg tracks all the way down on the mat. Interlace those hands behind your left knee and just find those circles. And then start reversing the direction of those circles. Right hand comes on top of that left knee. You're going to fold that knee all the way across the body. Your left hand is going to reach out and you're looking towards that left hand as you fold and melt that top knee all the way down to the ground. Slowly draw yourselves all the way back in. Give yourselves a really big hug. Hug both knees into your chest. Rock from side to side. Slowly hands behind your knees, and we're going to rock yourselves up to that seated position. Twizzle around to face the front. legs across, and just like we started, we're going to circle those hands all the way up and around, interlace those hands overhead, look up towards those hands. Can we knock over to one side, seeing how that side body feels now? Hopefully a little bit more open, a little bit more space. Come back to center, reach over to that opposite side. Coming back to center, take a deep breath in, looking up those hands. Exhale, open out, around and down, shoulders roll back. Shoulders roll forward, give yourselves a massive smile. Thank you so much for everyone joining me on a Monday morning. It means so much. I hope you feel good for the rest of your day and your week, and chat to you all soon. But thank you all so much.